morning. This is Chantel with Creations with Heart, and Duchess Desiree, who is sound asleep in her little bunker down there, so hopefully she'll behave and be quiet. But if not, she may say hello. The next project I am working on is a scrap project from the Facebook group Scrapping Coffee, and the inventor of these projects, or designer, what she does is each month she puts out a tutorial video completely for free. You just get in the group, and a cut guide and a video that explains how you construct the particular item, and everything is made or is sized so that you can make your projects from scraps you may have had left over from larger projects. So I decided I wanted to do the August challenge, and it's this cute little portfolio here. I used on this one Oriental Garden by Stamperia, and also a little bit of Vagabond in Japan. Now I did it twice because I made some adjustments to what she did the first time. The first time I used frozen roses, and I decided I wanted a little more space in there. Both of these items will be up for auction at the ASC auction house, where the members of the design team and the owner, when we make projects, we then offer them up to be sold, and the proceeds are to be donated to charity. And so that is what we do with our projects when we get finished each month now. Not all projects that you see us introduce, but several will be auctioned off through the auction house. So if you want to get into the Facebook group, you need to be in the ASC Facebook group, ASC VIP, and then from there you can get into the auction group. So let's look at the one with Oriental Garden. I used an acetate piece from the acetate die cuts, and I backed it in black. Now you can fussy cut that if you'd like. I also backed this one in black. This is also an acetate piece, but I have a brother scan and cut. So the scan and cut did very well, and then you can create an offset for the same size, the design. And so I was able to cut quite quickly, very easily, several of the designs on the ephemera page, and these came out of the Vagabond, and this was out of the 8x8. I did everything, pretty much everything out of the 8x8, except that there was the outside page that I wanted to use all of it. So actually I can't find it on here. Oh no, it was out of the, excuse me, I did it out of Oriental Garden. I wanted the entire page, so therefore I did go ahead and use this one here, the entire 12 by 12 sheet. Well, that's the only 12 by 12 I used in the entire project. Everything else was an 8 by 8. And it's this page right here. It's where I wanted it here, and then also back here and here. Now, just flipping over to the back, that is an addition. Her project does not have this back pocket, but I decided I wanted a place to put extra photos, and so I created a pocket in the back with an 1/8 inch gusset so that it could hold several photos. And the dies I used here are Cool Cats dies. I'll put a link to that in the description. This is also from the Cool Cats dies. It's their dumbbell, and you pivot. Now somehow I do have to figure out what to do with this, because when you do this, that happens, and I'm afraid that that's going to get torn off. So I wish I had thought to put a very thin magnet on the inside of here, down here, that would have snapped to. I will see what I can do about adding that on. Here I have a little tuck spot for one of the Oriental Garden journal cards. And this is another piece that I did with the Scan and Cut. Put this one to the side. Up here I also added a small pocket. And these are just more cards. My craft paper, the brown paper, is downstairs in the office. So when they open, I'm going to put some brown paper on the back of those so that you can do journaling on them. This page is, I don't have my rulers up here. I do have one right here. The whole project, which I guess I should have told you that, it measures about 6 7/8 or 6 3/4 folded up by 4 1/2. So it's a nice compact little item, but it holds a lot. And down here I took the paper and it had a really nice, what I call organic line there. So I cut it, leaving a 1/4 inch on each side, so that it made it into a tuck spot. So the person can either put pictures there or tuck something there. And I did the same thing with the second flap. It's just a little tuck spot. And I just cut it into the paper. So it opens up to the right, to the left, and then there's 2 smaller panels. To the right, to the left, and then here, there was a fish on here, so I cut him, and you can tuck right here, or I could have cut here, but I didn't put it there as well, or a person can put just a photo right here. So it gives several options. Back to the middle, to the right. Here she has 2 panels. On this version, I put tiny magnets. They are, I think, 6 millimeter by 2 millimeters, because you don't need a lot. In the version Frozen Roses, these aren't on here, these circles, and you just slide something here in that pocket, and that's what keeps it closed. But I decided on this one I wanted magnets, and so there's a tuck spot, and that way more can fit in there. There's a pocket here, and I put an acetate window in there, and then when you pull that out, there's a ship behind there in that scene. And these will just be, these are spare pieces. I'll put craft paper on the back. Open here, and again, I did the tuck spot because I just really like that organic line there. So that gives the person the option of making the photos interchangeable. Put them in, take them out, put them in, take them out. And there's a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here. Journal cards that came with the collection. And as you see, it's rather difficult to figure out which papers in here are Oriental Garden, which ones are Sir Vagabond Goes to Japan, because the colors and the design integrate so well. I believe this is Oriental Garden. This is Oriental Garden, Oriental Garden, Oriental Garden. And I know there's some Sir Vagabond is here, but that red matches exactly. All this is Oriental Garden except the little fish on the inside. That's Sir Vagabond. So this is a design that these two integrate very, very well. And when we go back down here, this I know is Sir Vagabond. So if you are wanting a few more pages that aren't quite as printy or printed up, mixing Oriental Garden will give you a lot of options with Sir Vagabond Goes to Japan. And that is a magnetic closure. And that's one of the little die cuts, the ephemeral die cuts. I didn't cut that one out. And then back here, again with the Cool Cats dies, the pocket. So the other one is pretty much the same concept. I'll very quickly go through that one because there are some differences. This one has a tuck here, but it's also magnetic closure. So that's more for looks. And this is Frozen Roses. Again, I added this pocket. And if I'm remembering correctly, yes, you can actually tuck underneath there. And these are pieces from Frozen Roses, which you can still get. And I believe she even has some in her shop. This pocket, I love pulling that out and seeing that little guy right there. It's just by hiding that, and you pull, it's like, whoo, there he is. He's just so cute. And people have asked, what is it? I don't know what it is, but he is a cutie. And this is one of my favorite winter collections because it's both Christmas and winter. It can go for either. These are the Cool Cats dies again. The curved photo slot, 1 and 2. I believe I only used 2 in this collection because of the size. And what happens is, the page looks like you're going to tape or glue down the photos, but right there, you have to get very close. There's actually slots cut in the paper. And you slide sometimes it's a little difficult to get them started because I don't want to tear it. This one's been flat. I didn't store it. The best thing I can tell you is after you cut, put paper, because see that one didn't give me any problems going in, but after I cut, this whole time this has been stored in that, and so it formed itself around the paper, making it easier, because see I stored it this corner and this corner, and that corner slides in. But this one that I had nothing in, I'm going to have to get one of those little weeding tools to get in there good. So go ahead and cut your pieces and slide them in there, and then the paper will form around and be easier to slide photos in. This is how she has it originally, where this flap and this flap. Ooh, I didn't realize I need to put some more there. And which I will get that done before I put it on the auction. And that's how it closes. On the other one I put magnets. Yeah, on the bottom. And I actually, for this particular one, those little photo slots are everywhere. So you have the option of the pretty paper or sliding in photos. And that makes your paper much more versatile because you don't have to worry with whether or not it's going to be covered. If it's going to be covered, then it can be covered. But if it's not, then it's still a pretty spot to look at until you put a photo there. And that's what I like. I created a tuck spot there. And as you see, those curved photo slots, I love them. Only thing is I wish at the time I had ordered more than one, because you get one photo matte die and one for each size. And for instance, this is a very small project, but when you're at the die cutting machine, you want to run the die through more than one time. So you have to do a lot of taping, untaping, taping, untaping. If they offered it, which they were considering doing, where you can get 3 or 4 of them, that way you can line them up and cut all the photos for the paper for this section and line them up and just put them through the machine one after another. So it does take a little longer, but it does make it where you can put paper everywhere and not lose any of the versatility or the prettiness. And then that way you have a pretty spot until a photo, and then when you put a photo, and again, storing that paper there made a difference. It was easy to slide that in. And now there's a photo, and I did it all the way through. And so here's the center with the small pocket, and then the big pocket in the back. This one is bigger. Now, on this one, I adjusted the pattern by 1/8 of an inch right here, making this 1/8 of an inch wider. And I added 1/8 of an inch to the size here. on those measurements in order that this would close better, because it was closing kind of tight to me, and that's before you add pictures. So I thought it needed 1/8 of an inch. I kind of wish I had put 1/4 of an inch, and so when I do it the next time, I have instructions to do 1/4 of an inch back there. And then again, a place for just extra things. So that's my latest project. From scrapping coffee, get into the Facebook group. It's real easy and a really nice, pleasant group to be in. There's not a whole bunch of drama, which is great. And I hate posting in some groups because you never know who's going to jump on you for something weird. And we don't have that in either of these two groups, and I really do enjoy it. So until next time, if you want to see about how much these are going to cost or what they're going to go for, or bid on them, get into the ASC VIP group and then ask to join the auction group. And from there, when they go up, you'll bid. Thank you so much. Have a great day.